let's get phygital. That's our slogan. Phygital is the artificial word of physical and digital, and this is what we want to combine because we are linking physical objects to digital twins. It was a very complicated title. I apologize for this complicated title. So we are linking physical goods to digital twins using NFTs, and the main question is, why are we doing that? So there are two situations where this makes sense, where we have issues today and where we want to see and where this can be helpful. First is you see this nice picture of Amy Sherrill's Pilgrimage of the Chameleon. She's a painter in the US, and she sold this painting in 2016 for $10,000. Then something happened. She became very famous as she was selected as the personal portrait maker of Michelle Obama when she got First Lady. So immediately she got famous, and 6 years later, this picture was sold by over $2 million. But the royalties, what is the gain for her as an artist, was zero. Because secondary art market is approximately 40–45% of the whole art market, but artists only get paid for the initial sales. So that's one point. And the second situation is in the creator space for artists, but also in the luxury brand section, counterfeit is on the rise. The superfakes are on the rise, and the counterfeit market is the 10th largest economy in the world today. And those fakes are hurting revenues and also eroding customer trust. So these are the issues where we said, here, blockchain can make sense, digital twins can make sense. And we decided now to create a solution for two different things. First, the first step is create digital twins for physical objects that act as a proof of authenticity, that act as a digital product passport, which in the EU is soon mandatory regulation, and which can be accessed to utility. So people can use the digital twin of physical things to access marketing content, exclusive content, use it as a metaverse digital version of the physical thing. And on the other side, the second step that we are achieving is we can trade physical items using their digital twins, and that enables a proof of ownership, a proof of provenance, who was the owner before, and that's the big thing, it can ensure automatic royalty payments for creators, for artists, for producers of luxury goods or artwork, things like that. So that's the idea of using digital twins. So how are we doing that technically? Is that we are using very special NFC chips, which can be used by any smartphone. And these are not just NFC chips that have some ID or some data storage, as you know, and RFID chips, things like that. But these are very special crypto chips that have crypto features that can act as a blockchain identity. As a technical person, I would call them a hardware wallet. And these are attached to luxury items, artwork, whatever, and we are creating, using smart contracts, then an NFT as a digital twin. We give a creator app to creators, to manufacturers, to create the digital twins as NFTs on the blockchain. There is an end user app which is customizable, white labeled, so the end users can use to interact with the physical object, with the chip. And for those who are not that Web3 affine, and for those people who are not that much in a crypto space and do not know what a wallet is, we also can provide smart cards to interact and have the blockchain identity there. So we already did this with some artists like Stevo in Austria. We shipped 1,000 bottles of a very limited edition of gin to protect this one. We are just working with a jewelry producer to add the chip both in the ring of a jewelry but also on the packaging in order to interact with that. So what are lessons learned? And I was presented as, I don't want to make a sales pitch here for our company, but also want to share a bit what are lessons learned, what we understood in the last 2.5 years since we are working with this kind of technology. So from a conceptual perspective, we understood that there is a big difference between what we call physical first or digital first. So our main idea was to have physical artwork and then create a digital twin. But in the meantime, we learned, and especially in events like this one, there's a huge community of NFT creators that want to go the other way. So there is digital content, the value, and the main value item is the digital NFT, but the more and more NFT projects want to start with physical things that belong to the NFT. This can be simple as merchandise, but this can be then real objects that really gain values. Yeah? Another lessons learned is we need to be careful with when we talk about royalties about physical things. So it can be a bit deter clients to some extent. So it needs to be very clearly communicated what these royalties are for. So if I ask for 50% royalties, this can be a very big obstacle for others to buy it or to trade it, and artists sometimes are concerned. So it needs to be very moderate royalties, typically 5%, something like that, and communicated that with these royalties, it's not just a fee for somebody who wants to get rich soon. So it's something that fuels the certificates, the digital certificates, the proof of authenticity, and things like that. From business aspects, we learned that the value propositions are very diverse around this topic. So for some, it's the security aspect, the proof of authenticity, is it a fake? For others, it's customer interaction. Are my end clients, my customers, they are interacting with my goods and so on. And for others, it's trading, this idea of digitally trading physical things and earning royalties, or a combination of that. And this is very different if you talk to artists, if you talk to a luxury brand, and things like that. And another lessons learned is explaining Web3 to Web2 companies is painful. Yeah? So we decided we won't. Yeah? And this can mean two things. First is we do not address anymore Web2 companies which have no clue about Web3 and try to explain them the beauty of Web3, but there are a lot of Web2 companies that already want to start with NFT, and this is a very nice way to start into the Web3 area. Either you want to start with metaverse and you want to give your clients some kind of access to that. Sometimes it's the collectible thing, sometimes it's part of a loyalty program and things like that. We had a big learning curve around usability. Yeah? Not every end user uses wallets, so it's about creators that are aware of Web3 and NFTs and they want to do something with that they understand. You can ask them to create a MetaMask wallet, but not everybody has a wallet. So we decided for this smart card situation, where we have small smart cards like a credit cards that can be customized, whatever, and they can be used instead of a wallet because it is a kind of a hardware wallet. And that was a very, very big important thing for many of the creators and artists we talk to. Not every creator uses crypto, so you can explain an artist what MetaMask is, and that's an identity, and you need to sign with this and something. This is something like an electronic signature. Most of them understand that, but that doesn't mean that they want to buy crypto on some crypto exchange to pay for the blockchain transaction fees to mint their digital twin and things like that. So we created a gas station to hide those crypto features and to hide this complexity also from artists. And another thing was that we learned NFC readers on phones are not very intuitive. And there are two different categories of end users. The ones that use their phone to pay in the supermarket with NFC, and the people who never did this before. And the first one have some idea how to hold your smartphone to a chip and how to scan it. And this means it needs a strong guidance. It's not that you put your smartphone somewhere to the chip, and so you need to be very close. And finally, the lessons learned about the chips themselves is there is a dilemma between price of chips, how complicated and complex these chips are, and decentralization security. So in the world of artwork, luxury, the price of a chip is not that big of an issue. Yeah? So we are talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 euros per chip in that area for a professional crypto chip. And this really allows to have a decentralized solution, meaning if our company does not exist in 3 years anymore, if the producer of the object doesn't exist anymore in 3 years, the digital twin still lives, so for the eternity on the blockchain, and it can be used as well. So there are a lot of solutions that use simpler chips, more cheaper chips that cost 5 cents, but they are dependent on some centralized operator of a system holding the keys and holding the private keys for digital twins and so on. So there is a decentralization versus price discussion sometimes, and Web2 clients typically care more for the price and decentralization now. But this depends very much on the customer segment. And finally, applying the chips on items can be a challenge. So not every artwork, not every piece is suitable for putting a chip on it. It has a certain size. It needs a size for the antenna to interact with. And there are different form factors that have to be needed. If you talk about variables, it has to be possible to wash it in the laundry and things like that. Yeah, this was some where I wanted to share about my project, some lessons learned about phygital. I'm here for the rest of the day. So I have an example here for a chip. If you want to have a discussion outside after the speech, please come to me. You can try it out. I can show you a chip. You can try it out on an artwork, scan it, and feel it, how it feels, and let's discuss how this can apply maybe to your kind of use cases. Thank you very much.
All right.